I can't believe what we just saw. Last week, Outsider Racing League ran one of the oldest racetracks in the country at the Milwaukee Mile. It was Zach Carr who came out on top, winning his third race of the season. Carr leads the points coming into week number 14, but this is where his championship fight will end. The news shocked the community earlier this afternoon when Carr explained he will be suspending his season and giving up championship eligibility as he deals with real-world issues. We wish him the best as we return to racing this week at another 1-mile racetrack. But the length is the only two things that these tracks have in common, is the track length here and the fact that they're above the Mason-Dixon line in the United States. Milwaukee is slow and flat and drives like a short track. Dover is everything Milwaukee is not. Fast, high-banked, and treacherous. Today, drivers will not only have to beat their competitors, but also Miles the Monster. Welcome to SimTV. My name's Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finney and DeCuna as we take on round number 14 of the Outsider Racing League. Finney, and this week, something very similar to last week in some ways, very different to last week in other ways as we tackle Miles the Monster this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's not the track too tough to tame, but it's definitely a tough track for these drivers to manage, especially, the big thing is entering and coming out of these corners with the track dropping down and then coming back up. You can definitely catch these guys off guard later in our run, and we've been seeing guys spinning out of the corners in practice, so it's going to be a handful for them tonight.
So as checkered flag falls in practice right here, we'll get our 5 minutes of qualifying underway, and tonight you're going to have to deal with a lot of different issues, including the track. It's going to get rubbered up very, very quickly, this concrete surface, which has been here since 1995, Finney, and it's going to eat tires alive as we head down into qualifying. So I think tonight it's going to be very difficult to make passes. Your thoughts on how important it is to get a good qualifying effort here this evening?
It really is going to be. I think passing is going to not necessarily come at a premium, but I think for some of these guys, it's definitely going to be hard to work through this traffic, especially once the tires wear off. We're talking about, the track surface that eats up tires. So those tires are only going to be good for a certain amount of time. That means if you're starting further in the back of the field, you can move up some spots at the beginning of the run, but only a certain amount. So you definitely don't want to. You're definitely going to want to qualify well, maybe around midfield at worst if you're a top running guy.
So as the cars pull onto the racetrack right now, 1 mile here at Dover, Finian, but this is a very different mile than we saw last week in Milwaukee. This place, constructed in 1969, so it's been around in NASCAR for a while. But you see right there, as that's Caleb Weekly driving off into turn number 1, the change in elevation from the straightaways into the corners. It's like you drop off a cliff and climb right back up again from corner entry to corner exit.
Yeah, that's really going to be the big part that, it's so different compared to a lot of other corners that kind of maintain the same, elevation almost, if I want to say, entering into the corner with the track dropping violently as much as it does and then rising back up and exit. It gives a really unique characteristic that's only really found at a place like Dover.
Running on board of Adam Cabot as he comes across the start-finish line here to complete his first lap. It'll put him 4th best as we drive off into turn number 1. And you're going to see this climb at the exit at turn number 2 right up to the safer barrier, which is a new addition here at iRacing. Hasn't been here for all that long, so that's going to be a big adjustment because the track is about 5 feet narrower than it was the last time these drivers were here.
Yeah, let me tell you, for me driving this track before the safer barrier was there, I was already up against the concrete wall, so it's going to just take out more track that I'm not able to use in corner exit. And again, I imagine a lot of these drivers have gotten accustomed to it, but, muscle memory is one thing. If you start to slip into old habits, you're going to wind up paying the price.
So here's the outside wall, and here's the inside. Several stories between those, the apron and the wall here, Finney, and it's going to feel like it. And the problem with these cars is that they're going to get light off into the corner, and if you unsettle your race car, you're going to have a little bit of downforce to catch you. That's not the issue. The problem is on corner exit when you climb back up onto the straightaway here, this wall, you lose grip as you kind of crest this hump here on corner exit. And when you lose that grip, Finian, you're going to go for a pretty wild ride. You're going to hit that wall. And they call it a self-cleaning racetrack because of the banking, even on the straightaways. It's, I believe it's 9 degrees on the straights, which will basically clean off the racetrack to the inside lane. You're going to go down that way. So if you're avoiding an incident, it's probably better to stay right than it is to the left and try to stay to the outside of it as everybody slides down to the bottom.
Yeah, we've seen time and time again in several different series where, the cars slide down the track. I try to avoid down below towards the apron and unfortunately get caught up in an incident. And we definitely could see that with a fairly decent sized field here today.
Here's Jeff Wright sitting on pit lane, and Connor Horn is another one of the drivers that has not yet made a qualifying effort. We have less than 2 minutes left in qualifying here, Finn. Are we surprised that we haven't had more drivers lay down times?
I was just about to say, yeah, we only have 8 drivers putting out a time. I am quite surprised indeed. We got a few guys out on the track. Stravato, Brandon Bowers, Alex Bell, Yusuf Gali all going out now. Bailey Turner and Bryce Calusa as well. So now a lot of the heavy hitters getting out on the track ready to put a time down.
Ryan Chambliss in the number 9 Redenzo car. He's out on the racetrack. And again, Redenzo has been a partner with SimTV for a little while now, and as well as Lazy Rocket Vinyl Produce. Redenzo sells radar detectors, Finian, and they were kind enough to send us a couple, and boy, is it a cool little feature. And Lazy Rocket, they do some great stickers. If you're interested in doing stickers for your race team or anything else, you should definitely check them out. Make sure you message them on Instagram or Facebook and mention code SimTV for 20% off your order. Minute left in qualifying as Stravato goes to the top of the board, and we've seen him in recent weeks be very solid, Fitting, as you mentioned. He has a 21.587, which puts him 2,000ths better than Elliott Butler.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been on a tear in these last few weeks, especially, winning at Iowa, and also a solid 6th place finish last week at Milwaukee, and looking to start on pole here as we look at Connor Horn in the 3 car.
This is really the big question mark. Will Connor Horn be able to upset AJ Stravato's pole position? He did last week. We were waiting for him to run pole, and he did it on his 2nd lap out. So 30 seconds to go, and all he needs is 21. To really get a final lap in, and it looks like he will. So across the line at 21.973, that's going to be good enough to put him, dead last here. We'll see if he picks up on the 2nd lap.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to hope that he picks up on the 2nd lap here, and you can see him get a little bit loose coming off out of 2.
Down into turn 3 and 4. 5 seconds left on the clock. Will he get back to the start-finish line? Did he judge this just right? Cross the line, 1 second left. 21.520, pole position for Connor Horn. How does he do that every single week?
Yeah, we did the math right, and he's lucky he didn't miscalculate by about 3 seconds, because he would have not been able to make it past the line. He would have starting far down the order.
He does such an incredible job of timing that just perfectly. So 150 laps on the board tonight. This is not a long race, Finn, and if we go green from start to finish, that'll be about 53 minutes of racing. I don't see this race going green from start to finish. Dover is typically very treacherous, especially on the opening couple laps, but this track is going to rubber in. We'll take a look at turns 1 and 2 right now, and you're going to see right here in this bottom groove how little rubber there is. There is some color here, but later in the race, this is going to be almost completely black, and we're going to see up in this margin, that's going to be all rubber particles, the marbles building up, and if you get up in those, you're going to be hitting the wall.
Yeah, and it does make a significant difference. Maybe not at the beginning or on the track, fairly clean for the most part, but once you get these guys tearing lap after lap, by lap 50, 70, there's going to be a ton of marbles up there, and if you see you guys start drifting up there, we could see a caution develop because of that.
So we'll wait for the rest of the field, the grid here, Finney. How about we run through our starting lineup here this evening on the front row? It's going to be Connor Horn in the number 3 and Jeremy Miller in the number 30 on the outside of that front row.
And moving on back to row number 2, we find AJ Stravato in the 33 on the inside. Next to him, Elliott Butler in 4th, going to start in the 6 car.
In row number 3, Bailey Turner starts in 5th in his number 24 Chevrolet. Caleb Leakley, that's a good starting position for Caleb, 6th place in the number 10.
And then moving back another row, Joshua Bangs, notably not in the booth with us tonight. He elected to take part in this race. Going to start in 7th. Next to him, in 8th, it's going to be Brandon Bowers in the 31 car.
In 9th place, Adam Cabot in the 77. We've seen him be incredibly good at tracks just like this one. He'll start alongside Clifton Cockrell in the 16 car back in 10th.
And back in 11th, the Redenzo machine in the 9 car of Brian Chambliss on the inside. Next to him in the 12th is going to be Alex Bell in the 15 car.
In 13th place, Michael Houghton in the number 96. One of the Ford Mustangs out there. Not a whole lot of them, but he is there. Starts 13th tonight. David Mott Jr. starting in 14th in the 29.
Back in the 4 car, it's going to be Justin Krasinski in the 15th. Next to him, Yusuf Gali going to line up in 16th in the 54 machine. Very far back down the order.
Yeah, Bryce Calusa 17th in the number 20. Jeff Wright in 18th in the number 48. Has not been an amazing season for him. He's going to look to improve on that tonight from his top 20 starting position.
Rounding out your top 20, speaking of which, it's going to be Skyler Shackleford in the 88 car. Next to him in the 83 is going to be Brendan Gagnon. Let the rest of that roll across the bottom of your screen here.
So on to the back straightaway here, 150 laps. We'll take a look at the weather here in just a moment. We had a look at it briefly earlier. 67 in the air, 97 on the racetrack. Concrete not typically quite as temperature sensitive as asphalt is, but we're going to see that temperature rise throughout the rest of the day. 43% humidity, 6 miles an hour of wind out of the north as we head off into turn 3 under the Ally Bridge on the back straightaway. So, into 3 and 4 here, Finney. Predictions for tonight. Who you got winning this thing?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say no to Connor Horn up in front. Man's got 5 wins to his name this season alone. He's looking pretty strong here, especially taking the last second pole.
All right, field out of turn number 4, 150 laps outside of Racing League, round number 14. Green flag flies, racing at the Monster Mile. Car on the apron down there in 1 and 2. That's an issue there as we get through the first couple of corners, trying to see what driver that was. As so far so good, as Horton pulls out in front in first.
Yeah, and pulling away by a mile. Next in second place is going to be Servato, and Miller going to fall back to third after the opening lap. Oh, and Caleb Weekly going to take a piece of the wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He's okay as he's trying to fall himself back in line.
Caught the wall again a little bit at the exit of turn 2. There's Alex Bell, brand new livery on this car this week. Started his night back in 12th. He's gained 1 spot already on Clifton Cockrell. Moves himself closer to the top 10. Behind him, you see a car out of line. That's Krasinski in the number 4. To the inside, here's Bryce Kalusa. And now the 48 of Jeff Wright taking a look to the inside. He'll go up into 17th.
Yeah, he's trying to get that car to turn on the inside. Can't quite get it done. Krasinski going to have to back off on the outside. He's easily going to get the spot down the back straightaway.
Joshua Banks in his return to outside of Racing League action. He's been having internet issues, and that's what's kept him from being able to race, but he's back this week. So far, so good, running in 5th. And he's wanted this racetrack before. I expect him to be very solid tonight. Bailey Turner and Adam Cabot behind him. They were players last week. Look at Jeremy Miller in the 30 car, though. He's got Elliot Butler all over him as they enter 3 and 4.
Really strong run from the 6 of Butler trying to break inside the top 3. Unfortunately, Miller doing a good job holding him off for now, and seeing that starting to form fairly much single file as Butler's trying to navigate around the 30.
I think we're going to see a lot of single file tonight because of the, whoa, look at the big slide by the 30 out of turn 2. Here comes the Butler to the bottom of the racetrack. Now, we mentioned single file here, Finney, and the aero wash is going to be pretty enormous at this racetrack. They have reduced the spoiler height, but these cars are still big dimensionally. You see the 30 get the wall at the exit of turn 4.
I'm not going to do many favors, and I think really this is where you're going to see a lot of passing done. You're going to be capitalizing on guys' mistakes up ahead. If they get out of line, have fun trying to get back in. You see he's already lost a few spots. Now here comes Bailey Turner up the inside of the 24, and you can see they're lined up, all trying to take a piece of this 30. Here comes Adam Cabot now on through, and Brandon Bauer is now waiting in queue. Unfortunately, he's not going to get to the inside.
Behind, there's Caleb Weekly, the number 10. He started in 6th place. He's fallen to 16th already, so minus 10 in 7 laps. It's been a disastrous start. You see the damage on the right side of that car, Finney, and not a good way to start the night. I think the longevity and the consistency is going to be very important tonight. Don't smash your stuff up this early in the race. That right side is, that's a resource, and it's non-renewable this evening, so make sure you keep yourself out of the fence as much as possible. It's Dover. It's got a safer barrier now. It's a lot narrower than it used to be. It's going to be an issue for drivers that are not respecting that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely have to respect the track like this. It can definitely bite you. Miles Monster, I'm sure he's hungry. So far, it looks like no car has ever retired out of this race. Actually, a lie to that. Justin Krasinski down on pit road in the 4 machine. He's got 2-3 laps down now. I'm
not sure if I see. There is some damage on that car, but it's not significant. I'm just kind of surprised we see that car out. There's Brandon Bowers in the number 31 car. Here he is, started in 8th, up to 7th already. And again, we always talk about his qualifying effort. This week was just a mediocre effort. Started 8th. I think we'll see a pretty good night out of him. But Yusuf Ghali, 16th, very uncharacteristic starting position for him, up to 12 plus 4 so far with Houghton behind.
Yeah, you can see he's kind of paying the price. He's making some decent progress early on, but again, he could be doing a lot better, and we expect him to be a lot better qualifying up. He's usually been at least inside the top 10 and more so inside the top 5, especially trying to chase down Connor Horn in the 3. There's
Clifton Cockrell. He was really slow through 1 and 2, and here comes Chris Stouffer to the inside. Very chrome-looking machine as Stouffer almost gets into the 16 car and corner exit. Stouffer with a new livery this week on the number 13 Camaro, and looking pretty good so far. Can barely read the sponsor of the Adrenaline Motorsports car because it's so shiny.
Yeah, indeed. And really coming out of these corners is really probably one of the sketchiest things on the NASCAR circuit. It's really terrifying coming side by side. You can end up, you've seen time and time again, a lot of guys just getting into each other and spinning down the track. And so far, guys have been able to avoid that.
Hearing hardware issues for the number 4 car of Krasinski, pedal box related. So we'll take that car back to the garage, and will be the end of his night. There's Bryce Kalusa. Watch the corner speeds here. 180 on the straightaways. We're not seeing anything below 148, 146 in the corners. That's not an enormous speed drop here, Finney, and so much speed being carried through the center of these corners. We were discussing earlier, pre-broadcast, how much it would hurt to blow a tire here. I'm really curious about the tire wear, especially this evening.
Yeah, and one guy, I'm not sure if it's tire wear related or not, but Jeremy Miller, he's been dropping like a rock. Remember, started up in 2nd place, has fallen all the way back to 11th. It's not been a good start of the race with 30. And how about this pack midfield?
Yeah, this is a bad place to be if you're in the back of this pack, as they all come out of turn number 4, scramble together. Jesse Pierce is the matte black car in the middle of it all. Jacob Plank on the bottom of the racetrack. There's Casey Lakatos running a new livery in the number 50. Right in the middle, Asus on the hood of that car as he follows the field out of turn number 2. And that's Plank, Pierce, Shackleford, Talganoff. Andrew here tonight racing.
Absolutely, Andrew taking a step back from the admin roles to have a little bit of fun on the racetrack, and here he is, started back in 27th, is up into 18th, so a good climb forward to that 81 car.
And there is Bryce Glusa going by Michael Houghton in the 96 car, so move him up a spot. That was Stouffer that just might have caught the ball at the exit of turn 2. Up the road, Joshua Banks runs high, gonna let a couple cars on by. Is there some damage on that car? I wonder if he got into the wall.
Trying to see, I don't think he did. He just got out of line and just unfortunately missed the corner. And it really seems, you know, once you miss the corner, you absolutely miss the corner and lose a ton of time.
Brandon Bowers trending forward, up 2 spots so far and running really competitive lap times, only about a 10th off the race leader last time through, and quicker than a couple of the Dracola car, continuing to move forward as we get into the meat of this run here.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I'm concerned is if he's burning his stuff up too quickly. I mean, a climb forward is great, but if it's going to cost you your tire wear, especially later on as you see the 4 because that's me down out on the track.
I think he's just trying to figure out and diagnose the issue that's going on. He's well out of the way there, just hoping he won't trigger a caution flag down there. As Jeff Wright, Jeremy Miller trade spots for 11th. Yusuf Ghali's gotten back by this to put himself inside the top 10, but Miller's slide backwards continues. I think he really needs a pit stop, put some or Mr. Feelgood's on that car and kind of diagnose what's going wrong with this. Is it damage on this car, or is it just trying to figure out the racetrack? And we mentioned the weather earlier, 97 degrees. How about this? The track has raised 11 degrees since the start of the race, Vinny. That's huge.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really big increase. I'm amazed by that. We haven't seen big swings like that since the dynamic tracks were released with the dynamic weather was released. And, you know, we've seen the degrees jump up and drop with just a little bit amount of cloud cover. But wow, that's a giant increase.
It really is an enormous increase, one I wasn't expecting to see when I opened that graphic up, quite honestly. But, you know, typically see concrete much less sensitive to temperature than asphalt. But, you know, also the coloration of the surface will matter, and what's on the surface is going to matter. If you take a look at the racetrack already rubbering in, you see the blackness starting to form on those bottom 2 grooves. That's going to make the track heat up more, especially where drivers are running. So if you get out of that groove, you know, you might be able to cool the tires off a little bit, but then you're risking getting into the marbles, which we will see. You already see them right here at the top of the screen. All that is marbles. If you hit that, Finney, and you're going for a ride.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of drivers already get cut up by that caution out on the track.
Matt Wagner in the number 18 car, and looks like Caleb Weekly in the number 10. Caution out for the first time tonight at lap number 21.
Oh, wow. He went for a ride down the front straightaway.
That car is absolutely destroyed. Let's go back and take a look at how this happened. I think it all starts with Caleb Weekly in the 10. He was struggling right from the get-go. Qualified 6th. But right here is going to get in the marbles at the exit of turn 4. We talked about this. You see him trying to accelerate with the marbles on the tires there, Finney. Wow, look at the 18 get air on the front straight.
That's what I was talking about. He went for an amazing ride out of there, but you see him try to gas up, gets loose on corner exit, comes back into the 18. He was just a victim in this end.
Woof. That is
caught some airtime.
Absolutely a huge pirouetting. And this is actually, notably, we'll go back into the sim here. This is the last time that we're actually going to see these cars race on the old damage model here. So that's going to be significantly different to watch next week. But you see, again, Weekly had marbles on the tires, gets on to turn number 4 and just tries to throttle up. Can't get the power down. Ends up going for a ride, caution out. Those 2 cars absolutely total as the entire field, minus Casey Lakatos, hits pit lane.
Yeah, this is typically what we've seen. Lakatos going to ski out, collect 1 bonus point for leading a lap, as he usually does on the first caution, but everyone else down onto pit road here. And I don't really think, you know, I think I say at a lot of tracks, you know, we'll see guys maybe try the 2-tire stop. I definitely don't think here guys are going to be trying that, considering how abrasive the track surface is. But we'll see if anyone is bold enough to pull that strategy off. And nope, looks like 4 tires for everyone. And off they go, and it's going to be kind of hard leading them down.
Yeah, no one tried 2 tires on that sequence. I don't think that's a smart strategy to try to pull off. Again, we saw about a second to a second and a half of drop-off just in that 20-lap run, which is significant because if we go a full run that's 60 to 70 laps here, I believe here, Finn, unless you got that calculation somewhere, we're going to see 2 to 4 seconds worth of fall-off in the pace of these tires.
Yeah, so my numbers say that we can go about 68 laps on fuel, and I was just about to, before the caution came out, I was just going to bring up that, you know, if you somehow manage to save 7 laps of gas, which I don't think you really can, especially at a place like this, you're going to have to make 2 stops, and it'll be interesting to see how these guys break it up. But with this caution coming out, it should be turning this into a one-stop race from here.
All right, so that'll kind of bridge that gap that we needed as we come across the start-finish line. The lights in the pace truck will remain illuminated here. So we'll take kind of a quick glance at who's up inside the top 5, top 10. Horn, Butler, Stravato, Bailey, Turner, Adam Cabot, your top 5. Yusuf Ghali up to 8th place after starting back in 16th. Pretty good climb forward for the Grid Life Touring Cup sponsored 54 car.
And how about, too, the guys in behind him, Calusa started in 17th, up into 9th place for him. And back in behind him, Jeff Wright started 18th, is up into 10th. So all these drivers moving up 8 spots apiece.
Pretty good climbs for those drivers so far, as Andrew Telganoff in the 81 car tonight. A very nice-looking Dale Earnhardt paint scheme. Telganoff owned and operated Outsider Racing League for pretty much all of its existence, and recently has stepped down, transferred ownership over to Brian Chambliss, and is now here just as a competitor. Not a scratch on that car so far. 27th to 14th for the 81 Camaro early in the going here.
Yeah, I was expecting good things. I mean, the last time we seen Telganoff on track, I wasn't sure if it was in ORL. I think it might have been in VRL still. Raced at Atlanta, did a really good job. I don't think he won the race, but was running top 3 and even leading for a good amount of the day. So, quick driver when he gets in the car and slowly picking his way up. He might potentially be, you know, a factor here towards the end of the race. He can get himself up inside that top 5.
And right behind is Skyler Shackleford, a relatively new entry to this series, but he took us by storm. I think Kansas was the first race we saw him at. Immediately competitive right out of the gate, and he's been competitive ever since then. Maybe not quite as impressive in recent weeks as he was the first race, but I wouldn't put my money away from the 88's corner as he sits 16th right now.
Yeah, I mean, and he's had 4 starts. Kansas finished in 9th. Richmond also finished in 9th. The Roval, decent finish in 12th. Unfortunately, the last race he was at, which is also at Charlotte, but this time the Oval finished in 33rd. That was the last time we seen him on the track. That was early in May. So back on the track for the 88 and doing fairly well midfield.
Gearing up for the restart here, the first one of the night. Horn's going to choose the bottom of the racetrack. Is there a scenario when you choose the top here, or is it going to be the bottom all night long?
Yeah, I think definitely bottom night all night long. We've seen a lot of the guys, you know, feeding for that bottom to middle groove. I don't think you really want to be the driver on the outside. And we saw earlier, Miller just got caught on the outside for quite a bit, dropped like a rock all the way back. So we'll see here how these guys on the outside lane are going to fare on this restart.
All right, we got 125 laps to go. Green flag back in the air at the Monster Mile. Horn fires off on the inside. Bailey Turner goes for the middle of the racetrack, down into turn number 1, covers the inside from Adam Cabot. Around the outside goes Bowers up inside the top 5. Look at the speed that he carries through 1 and 2.
Absolutely, the inside lane really doing well. Bowers kind of caught out off guard as Cabot's going to soar ahead of him and take away that 5th spot.
Really nerve-wracking these restarts here with everybody right on top of each other, carrying so much speed, a lot of movement. See Bowers go to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get up underneath the 77. Can't do that into turn number 1. Here's Alex Bell in the 15 car. Started in 12th. He hasn't really gone much of anywhere yet. As you see a battle up in front, I think that is for 2nd place. Stravato blocking Elliott Butler down the backstretch.
Again, doing a really solid job. Butler, though, trying to get ahead of the 33 machine. Can't get it done off of 4.
At turn number 1, Yusuf Ghali to the inside of Bowers. That's for 6th spot. Take that over. Here comes Jeff Wright. And we talk about this every week, probably to frustration to a lot of people. See the 15 car get sideways in the background. Wright's season has been nothing to write home about. Very, very average. And he's just looking for a couple top 10 runs to really get back on the horse. And here he is in 7th. A good start. Let's see if he can finish it out here.
Yeah, again, it's not terrible, and he's back 10th in the points. Really, I mean, due to really missing 2 races, but yeah, it has not been what we really expected out of Jeff Wright in that 48 machine, but trying to rewrite that here, trying to break inside the top 5.
There's Martin Sproul, and I think last season, the 19 and the 48 were 2 cars that could win any day of the week, any race of the season, but both of them having less spectacular seasons than in the past. Stravato and Butler still battling hard for 2nd place. Look at them wobbling on corner exit, trying to keep the power to the ground. And these cars might not have as much power as they used to, but it's plenty right here on a hot, greasy racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely is. I mean, these guys might think they might beat too much horsepower. We've seen these guys get loose later in the run off of some of these corners, especially turn number 4.
I'll just say there's no such thing as too much horsepower. So that's an incorrect statement. Who said it that you don't have enough power until you can leave a black strip from...
I think that was Enzo Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken.
It might be. Well, no Ferraris in the field tonight, but that's why they don't have as much power. Did the Ferrari 488 in a NASCAR? Let's have a conversation. How would that look on a stock car body? Probably better than the Supra.
Oof.
I actually like the stock car Supra, but all right, down into turn 3. Here's Butler. Now take a look to the inside lane. I don't think you can pass on the outside here. I do think you can defend. That's what we're seeing right now is Travato going to the middle of the racetrack, but Butler going to ride the bottom.
Yeah, and I think Travato's just caught a little bit too out of lane. Would have to pinch Butler a lot more, really carry enough speed through the middle of the corner. And he's going to not only lose to Butler, but Bailey Turner as well.
I see Adam Cabot creeping into the picture. He's going to stick the nose in on the exit of turn 4, bring Golly with him. That's what Yusuf has been doing a lot tonight. He's been kind of keeping an eye on this 54 car. Not really forcing his way into any positions he doesn't want to be in, but just sort of following the drivers in front of him through people that have gotten stuck on the outside lane. It's worked pretty well for him up to 5th.
Yeah, Travato dropping all the way back to 7th place. Finally finds a place to the inside. He just lost 5 spots in the matter of 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, it's a frustrating feeling. This is like Martinsville, but twice as fast. Get pushed up out of that inside groove, you're going to have a hard time. There is Jesse Pearson, the number 40. We haven't seen him around in a little while. You see the Polar Pierce sponsor number 40 Camaro, a nice matte black looking scheme. He sits in 21st after starting the night back in 25th. So slow progress, but forward progress for the 40 car.
You're so slowly but surely moving his way up the order. Trying to look for other battles on the track. There's Brian Chambliss to the inside of Bryce Calusa.
And Calusa, we caught the wall just slightly out of turn number 2. That'll let Chambliss complete the pass for 9th place. No challenges up front. Connor Horn now has stretched his lead out to 1.5 seconds. Butler, Turner, Cabot, and Yusuf Ghali, the rest of your top 5.
Yeah, remember the 6 and the 24 are teammates. I'm curious to see if they might sort something out here. Maybe put Bailey Turner, because I think that 24 is a little bit faster than the 6 at the moment. They also got Adam Cabot right in behind him.
You can see him just dropping off the cliff into turn number 3 and getting that car rotated in and out. And look at the 24 to the inside of the 6 on corner exit. Had a nose in there, but couldn't get the power down. And Butler will recomplete that pass. Now, Cabot look to the outside, might try the over-under here on corner exit. Looks like he's going to do it.
Yeah, great run off the corner. Going to try to work up the inside. Not a great entry for the 77, but you see Turner going to give room.
Really the center of the corner, we're going to make your speed here, and that's what Ghali's going to do. Again, just following someone else through, letting everyone else do his dirty work. Put himself in 4th place now in the 54 car.
Yeah, trying to ruin the supercharged racing party with the Butler, Cabot, and Turner. So working his way up there. And this is a great climb back forward for Ghali. So look at Martin Sproul making a move, trying to make a move on Ben Lafter up ahead.
It's Michael Houghton in the 96 as they roll at the exit of turn 4. He's to the inside, real tight on the front straightaway. That got close, and Alex Bell nowhere to go, and Shackleford will take advantage of that drop to the inside lane and run the 15 up the hill just a little bit.
And check, we're going to try to turn back down on exiting the 15, going to have to yield that spot off of 2. And check, we're going to clear going down into 3.
Alex Bell was not a guy in the past that really enjoyed doing the road courses. You see him cut down in the 13 on corner exit. Wasn't a guy that really enjoyed the road courses up until this year. He's been running a lot better there. We haven't seen his intermediate oval be quite as good as it has been in years past. So I think there's some sort of consistency to be had there for the 15 car, but running in 16th right now.
Yeah, so in behind them, a pass for position, trying to see who that is. That's the 38.
Jacob Plank in the 38 and Sam Devontier out of Australia in the 97 car. I don't know what time it is there, but it's not a time I would want to be racing, but runs 19th right now after starting the night in 31st.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just about noon in Australia.
Oh, okay. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be racing at like 4 a.m. or something, but I guess that's more like France.
Yeah, it's between 9 to about 1, depending on where you are on the continent, but about midday for them.
It's a big place, Australia.
Yeah, one guy who's off to a big lead or trying to break away is Adam Cabot. He's broken away from Butler and company, and so has Yusuf Ghali, who's trying to chase back down that 77. So Bailey Turner developing and training cars in behind. You can see with Butler, his teammate, and then Stravato, Wright, Chambliss, and Calusa all in behind racing for position.
Yeah, it's really wild behind Stravato on the front straightaway. Wright, Chambliss, and Calusa all fanning out at the exit of turn number 4. You see the 31 had a big slide at the exit of 2. He gathered it back up, though he's in 11th. A car that has just broken inside the top 10. Andrew Telganoff, remember where he started back in 27th, plus 17 in 45 laps for the 81 car. I think he's going to be at least a top 5 car tonight.
Yeah, and has made some really solid progress forward. Restarted, if I'm not mistaken, around 14. So moved up 4 spots since the restart, trying to gain some more spots. Speaking of which, Chambliss looking to the inside, and Jeff Wright not able to get it done. Wright gonna slam the door shut in turn 3.
Chambliss has been getting better and better each week. I remember a time a couple seasons ago where Chambliss really wasn't all that competitive, but the last couple seasons, and especially this season, it has been an amazing climb forward for Chambliss up the charts, and consistently now a top 15, top 10 car as you see him tap the wall in the entrance to 3. Again, car gets light as you drop off that cliff off into the corners.
Calusa was trying to take advantage of that, but Chambliss kept the car close to the inside, did not give up a spot in doing that. But yeah, like you said, you got to protect your equipment, can't abuse it, or you're going to definitely pay the price later on.
So taking a look at lap times here, Connor Horn's best lap of the day at 21.723. He just ran a 23.145, so we're almost, that was a 23.2 now, so we're about a second and a half off of what we were running at the restart about 20 laps ago. So that tells me that I think tires are going to be the limiting factor more than fuel tonight, Finney, and you're going to want to come down and get 4 fresh Goodyears on there just to make speed.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it'll necessarily be worth enough because the pit road is pretty long. I mean, these guys, looking based off what they came down under caution, costed 47 seconds. That's over 2 laps, so that's going to be quite a bit to come back from.
Yeah, and pit road here, I guess, is also 40 miles an hour. So that's a good point here, Finney. And this is one of those racetracks where you can't pit and come back out on the same lap as the leader as you can at some of the bigger racetracks. So that's going to factor into the green flag pit stop strategy. Pit road speed 35, you get a 5 mile an hour buffer up to 40. So you're not going to be going that fast. You're going to lose at least 2 laps making a pit stop here.
While we're looking at some other battles, he's dropped back into 10th place after running up in 7th. Chambliss, Calusa, and Telganoff all getting around him.
And the field spread out just a little bit as Chambliss and Stravato. There's a look for 6th.
Yeah, just about to say, Chambliss loose off the corners. The second time he's done that was also did the same thing. Went side by side with Wright, just trying to give room to the car on the outside. Calusa also going to get the spot away from Stravato, who's now beginning to drop down the order.
It really does seem like we're seeing a lot of tire wear. I thought we'd see a lot of more tire wear on the right front. We'd start seeing drivers get pushing in the corners, and maybe you do see that. And we'll actually watch the line here. This is turns 1 and 2. We'll see if drivers are kind of, you see them washing up the racetrack. And this is sort of the line here at Dover, but I think the right front tire wear is not as significant as the rear tire wear, which is what we're seeing make these drivers really loose on corner exit. But look at the marbles gathering in the upper parts of the corners here, Finney, and it's getting pretty severe.
Really, especially on the corner exits, too. If you want to cut to the turn 4 cam, I think you'll see something similar as well. But yeah, a lot of marbles building up, and there you see, there's David Mott working to the inside.
Jesse Pierce. I want to go back and take a look. This is Jesse Pierce just a moment ago, entering turn 3, just washes way up the racetrack, almost gets into the fence right here. That was about a foot or 3 or 4 feet off the wall at 160 miles an hour. Gathered it back up, but that was a scary moment for Pierce.
Whoa, and another scary moment off of turn 4 there. You gotta be very careful, you know, when you're trying to correct the car off of turn 4, and even turn 2 for that matter. You turn the car left, and you gotta turn the thing back right, and a lot of times when people try to do that, they get the car loose and end up in a wreck.
Well, you know, saving a car at a lot of racetracks, you know, it's, you feel comfortable doing it. You feel like you can correct the car back to the right. Dover is so single line on corner exit. Oh, the big hit there for the 29. Oh, that's going to be big damage. So we see him wash up the hill. Again, if you get loose in turn 4, you get one chance to correct it. If you miss that chance, you're going to hit that wall or you're going to spin to the inside. More likely you're going to hit the wall and it's going to hurt. But you see the damage on that right side of the 29, really significant. You see Banks and Lakatos up in front fighting for 21st.
Banks, not sure how he ended up back here. I'm a bit surprised by that. Oh, he has some massive rear end damage.
Yeah, he's got rear damage. His pit stop was also 17 seconds. So I imagine he was probably fixing some of that damage on pit lane. Either that or he had something else slow him down on pit road, but he's definitely dropped back from his earlier running position inside the top 5.
It's not been a good day. We thought he would have been a pretty solid factor as he is, when he was running. He was a pretty big factor week in, week out to win the race. And looking back, well, it's a Tim Downey Jr. back. Started in 26th and not made a lot of progress at all. It's currently only up into 25th.
This has been a miserable day for the 25. It's kind of been a miserable season all around. Reigning champion of the series, you'd expect him to come in hot. Has not been the case at all with any of the the Downey Enterprises cars. Zach Halpern right now is only up in 18th. So this team is really nowhere near the force that they were at the end of last season.
Yeah, and both these cars were winning condition week in, week out. Both were in title contention as well and were really solid threats. And something happened in the offseason. I don't know what it was, but these guys, I'm sure they're probably both going to be sick of us saying it because we've been talking about the whole season. But it's amazing, the change of pace.
Well, and it's the same thing with the 48 and the 19 as well. Those 4 cars made up 4 of the top 5 runners almost every week last year. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore. I wonder if it's some of the changes the car has seen that have kind of maybe reduced that dominance quite a bit. We hit 90 laps to go, and I'm just bewildered by all 4 of those cars.
Yeah, and actually one other thing that you start checking out is Bryce Calusa. He's been slowly working his way up the order. Got past Chambliss, got past Butler very quickly, I might add. Now trying to track down Bailey Turner. He's going to put himself up into 4th here shortly.
Right aboard the gyro cam here, and the banking at this racetrack fairly significant. Drive off into the corner, and that's why this place is so fast. On fresh tires, you're running a mile in 21.5 seconds. That's extraordinarily fast. The banking has a lot to do with it being able to lean on that mechanical grip through the corners. Car on the apron, slow in turn 4. That's the 16 of Cockrell. Did he miss it?
Yeah, looks like he missed pit road. And he was coming on down there on purpose, just missed it.
That's a big mistake. Very costly. I can take a look. Right on board with the 16. Trying to get it woed down, and he was almost there and just locked up right there.
It's a very difficult pit road to get down, so you can't really blame him a whole lot, but that's really going to cost him a huge amount of time. He was already struggling as it was.
He's already a lap down in 29th place, so it's just going to go from bad to worse for the 16.
Yeah. Battle for 4th brewing between Calusa and Turner. Calusa's there and wants the spot. You see, he's been timing these runs out of the corner fantastically. You see him get a great run out of 2. Now going to dive to the inside in 3.
And through goes Calusa into 4th place. Turner's going to try to respond on quarter exit on the front straightaway, but won't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's how he's been passing. Yeah, that's how he passed. All these guys have been watching him. Just really getting a great run off the corner and then using the run down the straightaway to make a move. Excellent job up in a 4th and even a little bit further back. You don't have to look too far. The 81 and Andrew Telenoff looking to break inside the top 5.
I've been so impressed with the pace of Telenoff, and he doesn't really race that much in this series. He's been so focused on the admin duties in this series, and now that he's finally able to focus on driving, really impressive. He was always impressive when he ran here, Finney, but he'd always start in the back and get caught up in incidents. No such issues tonight for the 81.
Yeah, looks like you might catch Turner fairly quickly. I think Turner's burned up his stuff he's running. He's actually, based off between himself and Calusa, the difference in lap time is 3/10.
Yeah, that time by for Turner at 23.8, for Telenoff at 23.5, so pretty enormous speed difference there as Andrew works to the rear bumper of the 24. He'll have a look.
Yeah, I think Turner might give it to him. I think he knows that he's only going to just be holding up the 81 quite a bit. Going to let Telenoff on by.
So look at the clouds now. Look how dark it is out there. We've had a big cloud over the racetrack. Look at this. One end of the racetrack completely dark. The other part of the racetrack completely light. If we take a look at the weather information, the track temp has dropped a couple degrees. This takes an average temperature. I'm not actually sure exactly how they do it, but I'm pretty sure it's an average temperature. So we're going to see a pretty big variance from one end of the racetrack to the other here, Finney. And so that might change the handling characteristics of this tire enough to upset even the race leader, so we'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, it's actually starting to drop, just went to 105, so I think the cloud is starting to expand over more and more of the track as you look at race leader Connor Horn. Pretty much checking out for most of the field, but...
Power's real slow. I'm not sure if he got in the wall or there was some other incident. Let's have a look here. Oh, there was a touch, maybe, between him and the 26.
See coming out, I think it was slow in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, ran way up into the marbles there, right there. You see him lose all that speed in the marbles.
Yeah, he can't. You see him struggling to get the car to rotate. Almost hit the wall off the corner. I imagine he was off the gas for most of that.
Yeah. If we try to think of a good way to do this, but I think later in the night we'll take a look at the difference between the racetrack at this state versus the track at the beginning of the night. You're going to see how many marbles have accumulated, how much the rubber has come in that middle groove. It has changed this track significantly. You see everyone kind of moving around now, but that's not really where you want to be. You want to stay sort of in the gray. You get up into the white concrete, the bare concrete. You're going to be burning up your tires, and you're going to be losing grip. There goes Bowers now down to the bottom of the racetrack, back to 17th. He's going to hit pit lane.
Yeah, whoa! Connor Horn almost just got taken out by David Mott Jr. Really sketchy on the exit of turn 2. And he's been having to dodge and weave through a pack of traffic. It's been very entertaining to watch over the last lap or two.
And here comes Adam Cabot to the inside of the 29 car as well. So Cabot was able to eat up 0.7 of a second in that lap alone because of the damage, or the damage done to the race lead time by that 29 car. You see the 16 coming, he's on fresh tires, he's gonna blow right by the 77. This is a really dangerous time because the pit entry takes you so close to the racing line, as well as the speed differential on fresh versus old tires. It's gonna get really messy out there, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and looking at the laps we got left, we're still shy of halfway. These guys that are coming in now not able to make it to the end. Yeah,
so are they maybe going to come in another time and maybe kind of extend the tire life? Or I think the one-stop strategy would be the way to go, but maybe they don't think that.
I guess they don't, but I mean, you only need to go about, I want to say 5 more laps? No, a little bit more than that. You want to go about maybe to lap 80. You should be able to make it to the end, so I'm a bit surprised by that.
Haley Turner's on pit lane, so is the 96 of Houghton. I also saw the 13 of Christopher, the 48 of Jeff Wright on pit lane. Martin Sproul is there as well. Connor Horn continues to make laps. And Yusuf Ghali has caught Adam Cabot. There's a battle for second going on into turn 1.
Yeah, and Ghali's been also tracking down the 77 for quite a bit, so as Cabot made up some time, so did Ghali. Here he comes trying to get a look up the inside off of the exit of turn 2.
And Ghali has been flying right now at 23.6. That was half a second faster than Cabot last time through. Really impressive drive for Ghali so far. Real tight at the exit of 4, though.
Yeah, got a great run off in turn 4, and he's going to dive it easily to the inside of the 77. You see Cabot off in the marbles, has to slow down to get the car rotating. Ghali easily takes second place away.
So now let's look at their lap time deltas as they come through to the start-finish line this time through. Ghali, the previous lap, was 500ths quicker, and it looks like Cabot has, well, scratch that. He's peeled off the racetrack, come to pit lane.
Interesting. So drivers starting to make their way down on the pit road.
We've got basically everyone but the top 9 cars off the lead lap right now. So if a caution were to come out, this would be horrible for everyone that's already made a pit stop, because they are now, we have everyone from 12th on back is 2 laps or more down right now. So everyone's hoping and praying we don't see a yellow.
Yeah, that's the risk, especially trying to pull a strategy like this off. If the caution comes out, as you're saying, you're 2 laps down. You're not just 1 lap down, you're 2 laps down. And you can try to stay out, get the wave around to get back on, just back to 1 lap down, and that's a whole different issue there.
Whoa, big wobble.
Big mess of cars behind Connor Horn. There's Yusuf Ghali trying to close in as well.
Battle for the race lead, the 3 and the 54 in the middle of lap traffic coming by on fresher tires. There goes Jacob Plank around the outside of the 54. Ghali now sets up Connor Horn. He's a lot faster right now. He's conserved tires much better than the 3. Big loose moment off the exit of turn 2. He'll have to give that spot back up to the 3. Now they got a crossover. There's Cabot in the 77, was 3rd place before. They're both going to hit pit lane, slide for the 54. No, the 3 leaves. He couldn't make it. Back out onto the racetrack. What a moment there for the 3 car. Unbelievable. That was almost a collision with the pit wall, but he gets back rolling. That's huge. The race leader misses pit lane.
Yeah, and he had help there. Ghali gave him a bit of a punt, and I think if it wasn't for that, I think Connor Horn was able to make it on down, but that extra boost in speed that he had from the 54 made him not able to make it on exit.
Yeah, here's a look, and he was in. I thought he was going to be in, but he bailed at the very last second right here. Just, he could realize he couldn't make it, but the 54 was able to slow down and make it just in time. That was terrifyingly close to being a race-ending moment for the 3 car, but probably a good decision. Just had too much speed, bails at the last second.
Yeah, and like that, it's easily going to hand the lead over to Yusuf Ghali for now.
And there he is leaving pit lane. Right behind him, Andrew Telganoff Not the true intimidator here, Finian, but if I was Yusuf Ghali, I'd be a little bit nervous. That 81 has been incredibly fast tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So still waiting on some more drivers to come on down. I think Ghali and Telganov are good to make it to the end, if not very close to doing so. Trying to see who else we're waiting to come down pit road. Is going to be Calusa, Chambliss, and Shackleford. They're yet to make their stop.
A really slow stop for Connor Horn as well, a 16.7 second stop. That is not what he needed.
Yeah, adding insult to injury, he's going to be probably half a lap back from Ghali. I would imagine maybe less, maybe more from that. We'll have to see, but that definitely cost him quite a bit of time.
Well, he's entering turn 3 right now. Let's look from high above. So there's Connor Horn in turn 4. Yusuf Ghali all the way down at the exit
half a lap
of turn 2. So half a lap is what he lost in that exchange. Huge implications for the race tonight. Lap 84 of 150. Bryce Calusa still leads this race by 11.5 seconds over Skyler Shackleford. 4 drivers, make that 3 drivers have to come to pit lane. Cabot is the first one. He'll have actually inherit the race lead here.
Yeah, these guys can definitely make it to the end on gas, and I imagine that's what they're doing. I hear Chambliss calling out that he's pitting on the radio. We're going to turn on down to Shackleford, missed pit road. So did Chambliss.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So many drivers struggling with the pit road entry tonight, Finian. Always a discussion when you come to Dover, Delaware, but tonight I've never seen it catch this many people off in iRacing before. Big issues.
It really has. And so, I've been hearing that Chambliss has blown a tire.
Oh, Chambliss blew a tire and the Connor Horn machine's back on pit lane. Maybe a penalty here for the 3.
Oh man, this is going from bad to worse. A lot of stuff going wrong for many drivers in the field. It's kind of hard to keep up with the misfortune.
So Brian Chambliss going to limp that car back around.
Shackleford missed the pit road entry again, and I think he's also blown a tire.
Goodness. I'm trying to see what tire it might be down on the 9, and they all look up to me. Maybe the right front.
Yeah, either that or it's close to being blown out, and he was thinking that it was, but yeah, that's...
Shackleford's 88 car, looks like he is entering in turn number 4 right now. But big issues, drama at the green flag pit stop sequence. Adam Cabot finally takes over the race lead. Bailey Turner 6 seconds back in second place. Yusuf Ghali right behind on much fresher tires. This should be a very easy pass for Ghali to be able to make here.
Yeah, one driver I'm really looking at to see where he ends up is Bryce Calusa in the 20. Definitely is able to make it to the end here and did not make a mistake coming down onto pit road. He's come back out in 12th, looks like 13th, maybe 14th once he finally gets up to speed. You see Ghali get a great run off the corner here down to the inside of the 24.
I've never seen a more dramatic green flag pit stop sequence in my time broadcasting here, Finian. What a crazy 10 or 15 laps that we saw between drivers missing pit lanes, some contact, blown tires. What a mess that was as we work our way towards 60 laps to go. Cabot leads the way right now.
Yeah, and again, Yusuf Ghali trying to chase him back down, but with Connor Horn, the big loser on that, man, that really hurt him. Back in 25th, 2 laps down.
Oh, man. Wild day.
Yeah, you see Bryce Calusa there with the pressure trying to get back around Cabot to put him on the lead lap. This is going to be interesting. I didn't think we would see some pit strategy, but I mean, for the most part, I think we are going to see, because I really don't think that Cabot can make it all the way.
There's Joshua Banks. He's actually somewhat recovered. His night was going downhill pretty quickly earlier in the day, but here he is back inside the top 10. I'm keeping my eye on Andrew Telganov here. Ran lap times as good as the race leader. Only slower than Ghali and Turner last time around. So keep your eye on that 81 car, though. Ghali is very quickly eating into the lead of Adam Cabot. It's now 5.2 seconds.
Yeah, see Cabot too caught up in traffic, and I think the traffic has really been crazy, I think, to say the least, with everyone spread out and also guys on different tire strategies. So there's a lot of guys significantly off the pace, guys significantly faster than the pace, and it's a really big mess here as green flag pit stops have completed. Hearing
reports that Connor Horn might have blown a tire trying to enter pit lane. That might have been why we saw him have to bail at the last second. Maybe it wasn't on purpose. Maybe he blew a tire right through the Kurt, was it Matt Kenseth or Kurt Busch, the Homestead thing where the tire fell off the car and the tire went one way and the car went the other. Very dramatic moment there. Telganov goes through to P3. He gets on by Bailey Turner.
Togonov, yeah, 8.3 seconds behind our leader and 4.2 seconds behind Yusuf Ghali. So top three spread out pretty much 4 seconds piece from one another.
Cabot letting some lap traffic on by. Real close shave there with the 9 car of Chambliss, and just in case Lakatos tank slap the wall in front of him. Cabot's lead now down to 3.9 as Ghali continues to close on the Grid Life Touring Cup Toyota Camry.
I think it's been a decent amount of time since he's been back to victory lane.
Yeah, it's been we mentioned earlier this season that he had a couple rough weeks, but he's starting to get his mojo back together, and a race win would certainly help.
Yeah, won 3 of the first 6 races and has been on a bit of a dry spell ever since. So, and we're currently, for reference, this is currently round 14 of the season. So it's been on a bit of a dry spell in the wins department for Yusuf Ghali. So this would be a good return to form if he can get it done. He's got to get past Adam Cabot. Also, again, you don't have to look too far back. The driver behind Ace Belganov also going to be a factor.
Tim Downey Jr. up to 14th place. We were talking about how miserable the day was earlier. Well, he's up inside the top 15 now and starting to kind of scrape something together here. That's working out okay for him as he works around the 50 car of Casey Lakatos. And right behind him, Sam Devontier out of Australia. There is the 88 of Shackleford back in 20th. He is 2 laps down. We have 12 cars on the lead lap. That green flag pit stop cycle really mixed things up here.
Yeah, it really did. I think we'll see a few drivers, start to get themselves back on the lead lap. A lot of the drivers a lap down, or a decent amount of lap down drivers are faster. They came in later than a leader, so they might be racing their way back to get back in the lead lap. And I'm amazed we honestly haven't seen a caution, considering the difference in speed between new tires and even just 10, 20 lap old tires is significant. And great job done by these drivers tonight.
We had 1 caution at lap number 21, and since then we've been green despite several drivers missing pit lane, some very scary moments on the racetrack. Been green for about 80 laps now. Really impressive as we work lap number 99 of lap 150. It's about 20 minutes of racing left. This race has been flying by here, Finney, and now the question becomes, is Yusuf Ghali the best one in position to win this race? Because Telenoff is currently lapping about a half a tenth faster here.
Yeah, looking at how much fuel Ghali has, he's looking to go about 70 laps on the tank, which is not impossible to save. That means he's only got to save about 2 laps or so. So I think he might be good to the end. Adam Cabot's in a little bit of a worse situation. He's got 3 extra laps that he's got to make up. So I'm not too sure. I definitely think Ghali's in a better position than Cabot. We'll see if Ghali can try to get back up to pass Cabot a little. He's kind of stalled out at 3.3 seconds in behind.
Yeah, taking a look at the lap times, though, you see Telenoff consistently running 2 to 3 tenths faster than Yusuf Ghali. So I've still got my eye on this 81 car. I think he's the big question mark. We know that Ghali's in a good position, and Cabot's got track position, which is always helpful in these cars. But the dark horse is the 81 car, which we have not really seen run for race wins in this series because he typically gets involved in incidents that none of his doing, but hasn't had the luck to finish one of these things out in a little while. So definitely a lot of question marks in the air. Cabot leads the way. He has led 16 laps so far. We have about 48 laps to go this time through.
Yeah, and also looking back at a battle for 5th brewing between Bailey Turner and Stravato. Bailey Turner a little bit off the pace, it seems. Jeff Wright caught him pretty quickly and passed him. And Stravato trying to do the same thing. And
Stravato's season has been absolutely fantastic, and he was chasing bad luck for several seasons. Switched numbers to try to get rid of the luck, had worse luck. Went back to his original number, had another bad season. Here he is back in the 33 this time around, though, and a couple race wins on the season, and has been running very solid, working on a top 5 position with the 24 right in front of him. Caution!
Oh, gosh,
And it's Sam Devontier on the 97. This is looks like trying to get an idea of where this is on the racetrack, as that turns 1 and 2.
1? Yeah. So not sure how he ended up in that position.
Let's have a look here. Oh, contact with the 64 of Laughter off into turn 1. Oh, backed it into the wall pretty hard there as well. He did a good job locking it down and not sliding down the racetrack, but we'll see if there's anything else involved in this. Having another look from up above. Laughter on the outside, the 97 on the inside. Does the 97... Looks like he kind of came across the nose there just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so indeed. So, unfortunately for the 97, going to spin out. Looks like he's going to call it a night as well.
Yeah, you see the 97 move back to the right. I think he was expecting to have cleared the 64, and that just didn't happen. And,
I think he misjudged the the run he got out of turn 4 in comparison, and fortunately for him, ended up in the wall.
This is a hard hit. Driver's side impact into the safer barrier down in turn number 1. That was a hit at about 100 miles an hour, so that car is going to be pretty well destroyed. Now, that changes a lot of things. We've got lead lap cars on pit road. We had about 11 or 12 drivers on the lead lap. That's going to let a lot of people take the wave around here. I'm curious about the mixing of tire strategies. And this really answers any fuel questions we had about anybody, but
yeah,
the tires are going to be another interesting topic here.
Yeah, so these guys are looking to do about 40 laps on their tires, and we've seen them do a little bit longer. That's around when we saw guys start to come in, so I think we should be good in that department here as these guys come off pit road. Usually going to be Adam Cabot off first, Yusuf Ghali in second, and Telgun off third.
Good stops for all three of those drivers. Michael Houghton currently scored as the race leader. A lot of cars back straightaway. This is a scoring nightmare, and I'm glad this is very automatic because this is when you have a long green flag run like this that mixes everybody up. You can only imagine the days in manual hand timing and scoring, how confusing that would be back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah, I forgot which race it was. I think it was at North Wilkesboro. I forgot what year it was.
Everyone got confused about who was where.
Yeah, and they were pacing for 18 laps trying to figure out who was the leader of the race. Thank God for digital.
Yes. So I'm just shocked. Look at this. All the marbles that you see in 3 and 4.
I was gonna say, if you want to do the
so let's do that. Let's do that now. So here is a look at what the track looks like at this time on lap number 106. And if we actually take a look, so the best way to do this, I think, is to back and take a look at lap number 1 for Cabot. One moment here. All right, so this is lap number 1, as you see it. So look at what the track looks like here. And that is what it looks like now. I mean, it is a huge change in the rubber that's accumulated. Specifically, what we're mostly talking about is the marbles up here in 3 and 4. This has caught out a couple drivers tonight, and they get up in these, and you can actually see where they've actually cleared them off from running up there.
Yeah, and also take a look off the exit of turn 2. You can actually see the rubber, it's starting to shine how much rubber, how much saturated it is on the exit. You can see it reflecting back light because there's just so much there on the track, especially in one particular line.
It's amazing how much this track takes rubber, and it's just on where the right side tires sit, because that's what's doing all the scrubbing. You can take a look. You see the inside line right up against the tarmac, the asphalt apron. Not a lot of rubber there, but where the right side tires sit, that's where all the black is. All right, 1 lap to green, 1 lap to the restart here. Lap 109 will be our restart lap. We'll be just over 40 to go. Cabot, Ghali, Talgadov, Wright, Bailey, Turner, your top 5. Make me a prediction, Finian. I'm going to pick the 81 car. You take someone else.
Let's see. I think... I'm trying to see here. I think Yusuf Ghali might have what it takes here. I have to see. It was looking a bit. It seems to be a bit stronger than 77. I have to see if he can prove it here on this restart.
And again, you see some of the drivers up there trying to clean off those marbles the best they can. That's pretty futile. I don't think that's going to work very well.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think really much is going to do anything. But also Joshua Banks getting back. Last time we were looking at him, I think he was 24th, 25th. He's back in 9th. So great recovery for that 36 machine.
Long day of racing. Well, it hasn't really been that long, but it's been long for the drivers that have been out there green flag racing. It's nice to have a break every once in a while, and they got it. Now it's time to turn them back loose again for 42 laps, 42 miles at the Monster Mile. Its car pace truck pulls off in turn number 4. Green flag in hand to the starter. 42 laps to go. The Outsider Racing League, round 14. Green flag back in the air. Cabot gets an amazing restart. Pulls well ahead of the 54 off into turn 1. Ghali goes to the bottom to defend. Jeff Wright slots into 3rd. Telganov got caught out there a little bit. He drops to 4th.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor start from the 81 car, put himself back in 4th, and everyone else trying to sort themselves in behind as they head off into turns 3 and 4.
Back onto the front straightaway this time through lap number 110. All streaming onto the front straight now, and everyone's going to get really greedy now. They've been sitting in a long green flag run for a while. They're going to get antsy. There's so many cars that they can grab for positions here. They're going to get greedy, and they're going to make a mistake. All line astern here, all the way back to 14th is our lead lap competitors. As we got a bit of a jam going into 3. There's Jeremy Miller in the 30, following Gagnon in the 83. That is the car we saw on the apron at the beginning of the race that we never got a chance to discover. Here comes Miller to the bottom. This is for 16th place.
Yeah, all these guys are fighting a lap down. They're chasing down Tim Dempney Jr., who's currently the first car a lap down. And if we got a caution, as you see, as Miller in behind got really loose out of the corner. Here comes Stouffer up his inside.
Big dive for the 13 car into 3. Can't hold it down there, though, so Miller will recomplete that pass. Jump up to the race lead. Cabot by 0.3 of a second. Golly, Wright, Telganoff, Bailey, Turner. Your top 5. Wright has certainly shown up to the party tonight. Has been a pretty lackluster season, but here he sits on a podium position. If he can grab 2 more spots, he'd win this race.
Yeah, it's a really good showing for Jeff Wright. He's finished this season was in 2nd at Richmond, so looking to try to tie that if he can get past UC Golly.
Big block by the 96 of Houghton on the front straight, and the 6 car of Elliott Butler had to dive all the way.
Jeff Wright and Telganoff making contact out of turn 2. That's going to send the 48 car a little bit wide, and you see a big stack of them behind them as well into 3.
Well, that was really scary there for a moment. Bailey Turner on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get up underneath the 48. Big slide as everybody tries to get the power down. Car sideways at the exit of 4. It's a 31 car of Bowers all the way to the apron. He caught it. Calusa also down to the bottom of the racetrack with Stravato. There's Alex Bell right in the middle of all the carnage as they make their way at the exit of turn 2. That was a wild lap. Let's go back very quickly and take a look at what happened a lap ago as they exited turn number 2. Here is a look.
Yeah, I think Telganoff.
48 got into the back of the 54, stacked everybody up, and that's what caused that whole train of cars. They're kind of back in the same scenario right now.
Yeah, and we'll see how this plays out this time around. The 81 giving a shove to the 54 last time by. Golly's going to be a little bit nicer, a little bit meaner.
Golly, 2nd place. Telganoff back in 3rd. It was the 48 that got in the back of the 54 a couple laps ago. No damage to the rear of that Golly machine as he tries to work on catching Adam Cabot, and it's so hard to focus when you got someone breathing down your neck like Telganoff and Wright are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Though last time by made up over 2/10 on Cabot, so really starting to close out at 77. Not sure if Cabot's taking it a little bit easy up there, or if he's just really starting to fall off as he pushed too hard.
All right, gotten a couple laps into this run, so I think we're clear from the restart chaos right now, but now we have a 3-way battle for the race lead. Cabot, Golly, Telganoff. 1, 2, 3. Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet. And Golly has won races this season. 3 of the first 6, as you mentioned earlier. And with his major competitor in the points, Zach Carr, out for the season, this puts Golly and Connor Horn really head-to-head. And Horn has had a miserable day down in 20th, a lap down. This is Golly's opportunity to really cement himself as the championship favorite as he works behind the 77 with just over 30 laps to go.
Yeah, done a really good job. I'm curious to see how he's going to try to get this pass done. He's definitely caught up to the 77. It looks like Cabot's not looking at breaking away anytime soon. You know, he's going to really have to, I think, prioritize the exit if he hasn't been already. He's seen him get really loose out of 2.
Trying a lane up the racetrack, maybe try the over-under here. And just prioritizing exit, as you mentioned, not really making up that much time. You know, maybe a half a hundredth there and a half a hundredth there, but not anything significant.
Back in behind the Bryce Calusa, Bailey Turner side by side out of turn 2. Calusa trying to make the move, not going to get it done. Stravato looking to the outside.
Oh, he's going to get up in the marbles, though, real tight. And you see him lose all that grip as soon as he hit him and drop back about 4 car lengths. And here comes Banks to the inside. He backs out.
Yeah, Banks tried to take advantage of that, wasn't able to as Stravato turned aggressively down the track on exit.
Race leader, Cabot. He has led today 35 laps. Drivers behind him, Yusuf Ghali in the 54, has not led a single one.
Yeah, looking to see who's actually set the fastest lap of the race. And
well, I can tell you, Telganoff and Cabot are tied with a 21.740. And looking down the order, I don't think we've seen anyone run any faster than that, not even. Connor Horn. Yep.
Big surprise. But a lot of these guys, their fastest times should note are all within thousands of each other, so very, really close together. Speaking of close, there's Butler and the 96.
That's Houghton.
Getting really close.
Yeah, they did touch slightly. Now Houghton to the bottom in 3, and Butler drove off in there to try not to get run into. Chris Stouffer is on pit lane. Big damage on that car. Wonder if we missed something here.
Oh yeah, it was the last lap on the straightaway.
Yeah. Here's a look.
Man.
Exiting turn 4, he had the 29 of David Mott Jr. to his outside. Mott to come off the wall and tag the 13 and sends him hard into the inside safer barrier. That'll be the end of the day for Stouffer. 25 laps to go next time by. Cabot has actually stretched the lead out here, Finian. So now, do you think Golly's trying to conserve a little bit of tire to make a run at the end?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can concern. I mean, you got to chase the guy down ahead of you. It might not be worth saving. You have to see. Really, I'm kind of interested to see because I thought Cabot just burned up his stuff and was going to fall prey to Golly, but it looks like that wasn't the case. And now starting to stretch that lead back out. Looking at Bowers now with Howden side by side, and also Lacatas there, who's a few laps down, battling into 1.
Bowers will drive on through and put himself into 11th position. Jeff Wright, Bryce Calusa for 4th. Calusa's had a really good day so far, Finny, and it would be a nice way to wrap up an afternoon at the Monster Mile with a top 5 result after starting almost back in 20th.
Yeah, and Calusa, really consistent driver. I mean, he recently lost the 3rd place in the standing spot to Yusuf Ghali after last week. But he's just been really consistent this season. That's what I think has been giving him a really solid points finish. I mean, he could be potentially the underdog heading to this championship, heading to the championship playoff, just from how consistent he's been running. And again, another top 5 for him.
Closing on 20 laps to go. Yusuf Ghali in the 54. Last time was about a half a tenth off of Adam Cabot in the 77. So looks like Cabot is beginning to stretch his legs here a little bit. Joshua Banks, Alex Bell, 8th and 9th. And right behind them, that's Tim Downey Jr. He is not on the lead lap, but he is in the free pass position. And he can have a pretty good result if we get a late race caution, but he's going to need it a little bit sooner than later.
Yeah, he's got a decent gap back to the next car on lap down as Brandon Gangden by about an entire turn, so he's just kind of hoping that a caution comes out, although as we're starting to run out of laps here, as we're just about to tick to 20 to go, it's looking less and less likely that he's going to get that.
Checking back in, Jeff Wright, Bryce Calusa still a 10th between them. Banks and Alex Bell, similar story there. There's Casey Lacatas right in the middle of it all. We've had a little bit of stretch out in the field. Here's Shackleford and Chambliss. This is for 13th position. And right in front of them, that's Connor Horn, who is the 5th car 1 lap down. And he's really just not having a good day after leading the opening 77 laps. And again, the missing pit lane and a potential flat tire kind of put that day on hold.
Yeah, he's going to take the bonus point for leading the most laps, but the rest of it is really going to suck. He's currently out there on old tires because he had to stay out to try to get at least one of his laps back, but he's on 46-lap old tires. He might have to come down pretty soon, or he's going to feel like he wants to come down pretty soon because the tires is really taking a beating.
Calusa's trying to get by the 48. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be with this the blinking issue, but try to get it done at some point. 19 car LCC back there, Martin Sproul, another guy that we didn't really see him have any particular bad day, but just wasn't a good one, I'll tell you that. His pit stop was 44 seconds, maybe a penalty there?
Yeah, I think it sounds about right.
About a 30-second penalty for maybe speeding.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And up ahead, the Calusa just got past Bailey, or sorry, not Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright in the 48, up in the 4th for the 20.
So now, looking at the lap times here between the 54 and the 77, take a look at this. Yusuf Ghali, 61 thousandths better that time through, and I do think Yusuf is taking a moment to cool off his tires and make another run at him here, because he has been a little quicker the last 2 or 3 laps, and there's lap traffic coming.
Yeah, there's a lot of lap traffic up ahead. Zach Halpern, Brian Chandler, Shackleford, and Horn all in a line together, and it's going to be interesting once the leaders catch it, because there's going to be 4 cars in a very tight space.
Yeah, still, it was only by about 100th that time, but Ghali's still slightly quicker. And side-by-side racing in front with lap-down cars, this is going to make this very difficult for the leaders.
Yeah, Yeah, I was going to say can't quite keep out Andrew Telgoff. He's also in behind. If these two guys get caught up and stuck in behind this traffic, he's going to be back in the picture.
Yeah, slower lap for Golly that time through, but I'm not sure it's going to matter because Cabot now has to deal with a group of battling lap-down cars. Halpern is, looks like, where is he in position?
Oh, Connor sideways through 3 and 4. Oh, he's still getting close. Almost got into Shackleford here, and here comes Cabot through the middle of this mess. And it looks like that actually might have helped him.
Oh, that was a scary.
Man.
You raised my heart rate there, Finian, for just a second.
Oh, yeah, if you want to rewind.
Yeah, let's go back and look.
You'll see why my heart.
Oh, man!
Yeah.
What a slide!
Yeah, that could have been a caution and could have involved our leaders right there, but wow, what an impressive save.
Here's a look again in slow motion. Just the lightest of touches. Look at the hands inside. That's full lock to the right. Did such a good job hanging on to that car.
Looks like that's seen out of cars.
Turn right to go left. They didn't mean that about Dover, I'll tell you that, though. So Cabot, 0.6 of a second lead. He's gotten through the troublesome traffic. There's just Brian Chambliss left. Chambliss is 13th, the last driver on the lead lap. This would put Tim Downey Jr. in a bad spot. He already is in a bad spot because Shackleford was also a lead lap car, so now Tim Downey is no longer the free pass car if we were to get a caution.
Yeah, although again, as these laps wind down, it's less and less likely. As I say that, though, we almost had that go away right there with Connor Horn getting completely sideways, but for now, it looks like this has calmed down.
Watching the lap times again, though, this time through. Golly at 23.378 was a little slower than Adam Cabot, but now that Cabot's following the lap car, let's see if this hurts his overall time here, and we'll bring in the 54 a little bit closer.
Definitely feels like it is. I'm curious if Chambliss is going to get out of the way. He's staying stuck to that inside lane.
Why would he?
Gets right up to his back bumper.
He's still got a chance to get a top 10 result if we were to get a caution if he stays on the lead lap, but I don't think it's going to have he's going to have much of a choice here. And that time, Golly was only quicker by 0.7 of a second, 10 laps to go.
Yeah, it was not really the game that it needed. He needs to make up much more time on it now. He is going to have to deal with Chambliss. And you would think that Chambliss would get pulled out of the way, but we'll see what happens here.
Exit of turn 4. Cabot is very close to grabbing a race victory here, but 9 miles around the Monster Mile is too long for the nerves, I'm sure. Golly now needs to dispose of the 9 car very quickly, but I think his time is running out very quickly. I don't know if they're going to catch the next group of traffic.
I don't think so either. And but that aside, I think really for Golly at this point, he might need a caution to come out. I think he's got a hoping here. Whoa, I saw someone take a really wild ride down the front straightaway, and that was Joshua Jenkins in the 94.
There is Jenkins in the 94, McGuire's car. We haven't really talked about him yet tonight, but he started 29th up to 19th. Pretty solid day. He's 2 laps down there with a little bit of right side damage, but now he's the next car that's going to be in the path of the race leader, and I do stand corrected. I think they are going to catch him. He is well off pace, about a second off the race leader. There's Connor Horn. He's just come out of pit lane. Maybe another tire issue for Horn, but I think Cabot is going to catch. Whoa, Golly pushing. I don't think he's got the tire left on that car, though.
I think this is what we're seeing earlier. Remember, we were talking about Cabot falling a bit off the pace. Then he just dialed it back a little bit earlier on in the run, turned it back up here towards the end of the run where it mattered.
I'm also taking a look at Andrew Telgoff in 3rd because he's got Bryce Calusa chasing him down from 4th place. Couple of lap cars interspliced here with 5 laps to go next time by.
And Connor Horn trying to get by on the inside of Telgoff. He's going to get by. Calusa going to absolutely send it as Telgoff off in the marbles. And Telgoff going to fall back into 4th. Calusa up into 3rd.
Oh, crossover. Telgoff back to the inside lane. Going to try to grab that spot back into 1, but can't fight it. Put Calusa up to P3. 1.2 seconds the gap between Cabot and Golly here, but 2 cars that he has to pass. One of them Jenkins, and I don't know who the other car is, but Jenkins is well out of the groove there, so Cabot will get to go on by. 4 to go. Looks like it's the 64 of laughter.
It is. He's also significantly off the pace, but Cabot's been picking up this lap traffic and putting him down. It hasn't been too much of an issue, much to Golly's demise. Casey
Lacanis had a big moment there at the exit of 2. And Golly moves over to let Horn on by, thinks he might stand a better chance to let Connor go run down and disturb the 77's battle for the lead. Golly will get on by the 94 Jenkins. 3 laps to go now. And Cabot right up to the rear bumper of the 64. Bit of a tense moment there, but now should be able to get on by.
Better safe than sorry for Cabot at this point. Gonna get back by the 64. Here comes Connor Horn with a head full of steam.
2 laps to go, 2 miles left. At Dover, Delaware, through goes the 3 car to put himself now only 3 laps down versus the 4 he just was. But Cabot has had a really strong race earlier in the day. It's the 3 car that led 77 laps. Cabot will not be able to eclipse that. But he has been by far the most dominant car since our first caution of the day. Caution!
Oh, speaking of which.
Alex Bell in the 15 spun on the back straightaway, and that changes everything.
Yep, it ain't over till it's over, and
Oh,
now
man.
he's proving it.
I was about to do the whole
Wow.
speech about the 77 getting it done, but that's why you don't do it until the checkered flag falls. Wow. All right, so caution. So we're going to have a green-white checkered, our first attempt at it this evening.
Yeah, we got 1 of 2 attempts lined up.
Go back and find out what happened to Alex Bell. Thought there was contact with another competitor. It's behind the 36 of Banks. Oh, the 16 of Cocker was just a bad place to catch somebody. You really need every single inch of track on the corner exit here, and the 16 was just wrong place, wrong time for the 15, and Bell needed that extra bit to... You good?
Got some split strategy. Tal got off and Turner down onto pit road.
Oh, boy. That's
Everyone else in behind besides the top 3.
Finian, you know I hate this.
Oh.
My nerves hate this. I think
It's gonna get spicy.
All right. Here's the thing. I think taking tires is the right call here. However, there are 3 cars that stayed out, so Talganoff will be starting in 4th. We have to really see where everybody shakes out here because there's a lot of lap cars that are kind of mixing this up. But if Talganoff restarts 4th, I'm not sure you want to be in the outside groove because you can't run up to the wall because of all the marbles you see in this top groove here, Finian. So I'd much rather be on the bottom and be able to shove someone up into the marbles, but Talganoff's not going to get that choice. And did he have a mistake in pit lane? Yes, he did.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He comes out
Oh.
well behind Bailey, Turner, Stravato, Houghton, and more. Stop only recorded as...
No, I think speeding. I think speeding might be what it is from the look of it.
Well, he's his stop was only 10.8 seconds. I'm not sure why he would be... Oh, no, I think my timing's messed up. Don't worry about that. Because we're in overtime. No, we're not in overtime. It should be fine.
No. I'm reading the correct data, too. I'm reading the same thing.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit confused here. Let's see where this shakes out, and we'll re-rack him, restack him, and go again. That time through... Okay, so Talganoff is going to be 4th. My mistake there. All right, so it's pretty much what we expected. So did Talganoff only take 2 tires, though? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
So 2 tires for Talganoff. That was a mistake, I feel.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think he thought that other guys are going to take 2 tires. Unfortunately for him, every single guy in behind him took 4. That being said, though, I actually know.
I'd much rather be in Bailey Turner's position than the one that the 81 or the front 3 are in. I like having all the tools at my disposal, and Talganoff grabbed 2 tools off the shelf, and Turner grabbed all 4. So when we get down to the last 2 laps here, it's going to matter.
It's going to matter a ton. And looking at the lap times, what Cabot was running before that caution came out, he was 2 seconds off of his best lap. So that's about what those fresh tires are worth. But a problem for Turner, he's got to get past 4 guys ahead of him in 2 laps. It's a pretty tall order. So this is gonna get really interesting really quick.
All right, so now we are in overtime. So one of the caveats I always have to remind everybody is once we are past our scheduled distance, the ticker will no longer update live. It will only update at the start-finish line. So just remember that as we get into our last couple laps of this race. And 1 to green, we'll have 2 laps to go.
Trying to look here. I'm trying to think of who's going to win this race. I honestly don't think it's going to be any of the top 3. I want to be quite surprised if they did.
Are you nervous? I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too. Who do you think is going to win?
I got my money on the 24. I just think tires matter too much.
Actually, you know what? I think I know who's gonna win. It's gonna be Miles the Monster that wins.
Yeah, Miles the Monster is going to get to feast on a lot of race car tonight.
He's been strong. There hasn't been that many retirements.
I do think that if the 77 nails this restart, he might have enough if Calusa holds up the 24, but it's going to be close. If Turner can get by the 20 car, it's game over. We're going to have 2 laps to figure it out. Here we go. We're 2 laps past. Oh no, he crashed! The 81 into the wall! Caution back out as the field piles up in turn number 4.
Actually, we didn't even take the restart, so this is actually going to still be our first attempt.
Oh, it just extended the caution.
Yeah, because the green never flew.
Oh my goodness.
I was just about to say too, as you took the restart, that those guys are on 45 lap old tires. They're going to be a bit slick.
Okay, so we don't have time to go back and look at that because we're already 1 to green. Now we're going to stop on the back straightaway here. I wonder if they're going to extend this again.
They might have to.
The field is a mess. Yeah. If we get an extension, we'll go back and look at it. We'll also look at it post race. But the field coming to a halt on the back straightaway as they all pile up in turn 4 on the restart.
It looks like a red flag.
I really wish I had a red flag button, and now I need to put one in. All right, we will have an extended caution period here.
So, man, my heart can't take more of this.
Mine can't either. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here. The 81 of Talganov. And what was the other car involved there? Was it the 20 of Calusa?
That started it.
Here's a look.
And just tries to get back on the gas here.
Yeah, throttles up and just goes straight to the right, and they both pile into the wall. Houghton gets involved, the 25 of Tim Downey Jr. gets involved. All 4 of those cars pretty well torn up.
Yeah, really unfortunate. And yeah, again, the old tires, and that's something I think these guys, or at least Calusa, might have not been accounting for. Even if he did, it might have just, again, the tires must have been so shot at that point, even just a little bit of input sent them up the track, because you're starting on the banking, which is already really awkward. And it's just a recipe for disaster,
so
unfortunately.
I didn't know that I needed a red light button, but now I do, so I will install that for next week. All right, here's the interesting thing. Okay, so the 20 is actually, is he getting an EOL here, Finney? He looks like he's given up that spot.
Yes. All
right, so Talganov will restart unofficially. No, he's actually in pit lane. So now it's going to be Cabot, Golly. Now Bailey Turner is really in the best spot.
Yeah, I think it might be either someone in row 2 back I think might win it. I think if I'm Golly or Cabot, I'm scared. Especially considering that I didn't take up one of the 2 attempts. If another caution comes out, we have to go again. All
right, we're going to have 2 miles left at the Monster Mile. We've done 155. We were originally scheduled for 153 laps. We are now going to complete 157 at the minimum. All right, pace truck in turn number 4. Let's see if they can get it done this time. Field going to exit the corner, and we're going to turn them loose for 2 more laps. Green flag back in the air, and the 77 got an amazing restart. Now can he complete 2 miles without incident, without another caution? Big scramble as they head down to turn number 1, 2 and 3 wide in the midfield. Where's Bailey Turner as everybody drives on through?
Backed up, hits the 54. Here comes Jeff Wright rocking.
Oh, they were crashing! The 54 to the wall. Big crash for the 33. Cautions back out. And just like that, another crash as the field enters turn 3, and the 33 car is junk. Oh my goodness! And that is the second caution, or second green-white checker, excuse me. What a mess we are having here, and it is glorious.
Oh man.
Oh my!
I wish I had a heart rate monitor on me, because it's like, I think my heart rate's like, it's pretty high right now, because after all this is going on, man.
Here is a look, and this really was a whole quarter in the making. The 33 was already sort of loose from the 31 being right up behind him here. And they come out of turn number 2, and you're going to watch all 3, you're going to go 3 wide here as the 24 gets split. And then the 54 squeezes the 48. And the 36 and 33 get together, and that's what triggers the mess. What a mess that is. And this is so frustrating because for Jeff Wright, the only place that he can't back out because the 36 car is here. So he's stuck there.
He's in between a rock and a hard place, and unfortunately got a piece of the wall. Fortunately for him, I mean, he only really brushed it. Could have got a lot more damage to that thing. Could be in Stravato's position. Unfortunately for Stravato, we were talking about all the good luck he's been having. It's finally asked for a withdrawal. So
it's going to jump back and take another look at it, but I think we'll head back live here as it looks like Adam Cabot is going to retain
the
lead.
That's going to be short-lived.
Well, so now Bailey Turner is in a great position here because he'll be on the front row, and I think Adam Cabot is really in a no-win situation. No matter what you do, you're in trouble here.
Because here's the thing. Cabot took the last restart really slow, again, to avoid spinning the tires because he had to. Turner doesn't really have to worry about that. He's got significantly fresher tires to work with. Oh, man.
Well, we went 150 laps with only 2 cautions. Now, we've had technically 3 in the last 5. So,
yeah, here's a little interesting factoid as well, is that ATVO, the stint data gets completely messed up once we go to green, white, checkers.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Does it?
It stops counting after...
oh, that's good to know. I can, I'll send that over to Nick and we'll see if I think it's difficult because I don't know if the iRacing SDK outputs data after the original distance was scheduled, so that's sort of why the timing and scoring gets a little bit messed up. But now, okay, so this race was originally scheduled for 153 laps. We're going to have over 160 in this race now. Oh, boy. Having fun there, Finian? Been quite the day here as we head onto the back straightaway. See the tire marks, the self-cleaning racetrack that is Dover, Delaware. I was asking earlier, we were talking about this pre-race, the safer barrier here should have the metal still stands. I don't know why it doesn't. Something severely forked there. We would have seen the white flag about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we were a turn away from seeing that.
Yes.
We saw, we technically saw the flag. It wasn't completed, or we didn't start that white flag lap, but Cabot was a corner away from winning this race, and he's going to be disappointed because
and he probably still would have won. He probably still would have won the race if we hadn't gotten the caution just now, too. He was far enough ahead that I think he would have been able to hang on. No longer the case as we get the 1 to green signal, sort of. Actually, this will be our last attempt at a green-white checkered. So next flag ends the race, whether it's checkers or wreckers. We're going to find out here shortly.
Yeah, I think Cab is going to be hoping and praying that a caution comes out, because that's his only real hope here, is if he can try to get a decent restart on the 24, and everyone else in mind is going to be hounding him for it. Yeah, Usagawa kind of swamped by everyone around him, and he's also on old tires as well.
Yeah, so Cabot is basically just hoping they wad up immediately to really preserve his opportunity to win this race. If we go green and we make it down to turn 3, I think it's pretty much game over. I think 1 and 2 will be okay, but once you get to 3, game over. So, 2 miles. Again, this race will unofficially be 162 laps. 9 laps longer than 9 miles more than our originally scheduled distance. As we enter our final restart of the night. Cabot, Turner, green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go at the Monster Mile. And a good restart for Cabot. Can he hang on?
Here comes Turner trying to chase him down. Oh, caution out.
That's it. Race
over.
Caution out, and this time I'm trying to see who was involved, and I don't know immediately. Do you have that information available for me here?
I don't either. Oh, hang on. I see someone for a spin. I think it might have been Gagnon.
Brandon Gagnon in the 83, potentially. Let's go back.
Oh, Balder Shackleford that went around.
Shackleford in the 88. Let's see how this happened. Oh, I think there was net code there with the 9 car at Chambliss. Look at it from up above here. There's a couple feet there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real shame for Bailey Turner, but Adam Cabot, he needed one thing to happen to preserve his lead, and it happened. The white flag is in the air.
And for Cabot, this will be his first win of the season.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I thought he won a race, too. I was surprised by looking at that earlier as well.
Checkered flag waves after 162 laps. Adam Cabot, what a drive. And actually, interesting fact here, With this, he will lead 77 laps and tie Connor Horn
Oh, man.
as they come across the start-finish line.
Interesting stuff right there.
That's not something I expected to see, but congratulations from the 24 to the 77. No harm, no foul there.
Teammates coming up to congratulate one another.
And celebrations for Adam Cabot. He's been close a couple times this year. Field coming around to congratulate him as well, but disappointing end for Bailey Turner. You probably would have had him here, Finney, and if we had gone green to the end, I think it would have been it.
Yeah, definitely what he got really lucky. Cabot got really lucky. That caution came out literally going into turn one. So
also 77, the number of laps Adam Cabot led, the number on the side of the door as well. And for Cabot, celebration, first one on the season, round number 14, as he drives into the concrete on the front straightaway, the safer barrier, and
everyone's celebrating.
6 car as well. The entire team. They finish first, second, and 6th. Cabot from nearby New Jersey. He's won races in ORL in the past, not his first victory in the series, but first of the season. And these guys have gotten really good at these straight line burnouts.
Oh yeah, look at Butler and Turner on the straightaway.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Wow, Butler's really good. Look at that.
That is impressive stuff, guys. Look at all the marbles. This track is heavily used. Now they're going to pack it into the wall. Motors blown on a couple of those cars there, but that's it. Here's a look at the race results. Of course, everything unofficial, but let's have a look here at the front page here, Finney. Adam Cabot, Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright gets a podium result. Yusuf Ghali comes back inside the top 5. Brandon Bowers, 5th place result for him as well.
Yeah, and Ghali was another driver that really benefited from that caution coming out. He would have lost probably a lot more spots than that had it not, so was able to salvage a top 5 at the end of the day.
Back on to 11th place, Brian Chambliss just outside. There's Gagnon Miller with a 13th place result. Tim Downey Jr. fought hard all day long, comes home 14th. Connor Horn, disappointing day after leading the opening 77 laps. That will be an 18th place result for him. Down deeper in the field, AJ Stravato with that big crash finishes 21st. Joshua Banks had a pretty strong return, got caught up in a collision, finishes back in 22nd. Telganov had a night going that could have been a race win had he taken 4 tires and not been on the outside. I think he would have been probably in position to have won that race, but 24th for him tonight. All right, we're going to jump to break for just a few minutes. We'll be right back to talk to your race winner and more. Stay with us. Welcome back live to SimTV and Outsider Racing League round number 14. Here now with our 24th place finisher. That's Andrew Telganoff in the 81. Andrew, tonight looked like it could have been a race victory, but things didn't quite go right there on one of the green-white checkered restarts. Just walk us through your night and that final restart.
All about tonight was trying to get a top 10. That was the big goal. And Looked like we definitely had it there. Yeah, starting, I think we're 27th or 28th, I don't know. Just biding our time, knowing the tire was going to fall off, passing people. It's always good when you're passing people. Yeah, we got up there, and yeah, I took 2 tires there, and I was expecting a tire spin. I don't think the one on the inside of me was Bryce, but hey, man, it happens. I've done it before, so you know, it is what it is.
24th place for the 81 tonight. Andrew, thanks for talking.
Yep.
Moving on now to our 3rd place finisher. It was the 48 of Jeff Wright. That brings it home in a podium result. Jeff, a really, really strong result. Is this the momentum you needed to get your season back on track this week?
Yeah, definitely good to get a good finish finally. I feel like it's been forever since I've talked to you, Kyle. So, you know, it's been a while since I've had a decent finish. It's just been tough lately. A lot of connection issues, it seems, each and every week. And I know guys are getting upset with it too. And Case Licato said can't race anymore because there's new rules. So I guess we'll have to look at that one. But no, we needed a good finish. And, you know, we're fighting for top 5 before that yellow came out. And, you know, I couldn't believe that caution came out. I don't even know what happened. I still haven't seen a replay. I just saw, I think it was Tim Downey hit my quarter panel coming down the back straight. I don't know if he came up to me. I came down to him, but brought the yellow and actually ended up helping our finishing position. So a top 3 is good, but definitely want to get this connection issue stuff sorted out so we can battle guys harder and, you know, go compete for some wins again because, you know, it's frustrating as much as this connection's holding us back. You know, I feel like not putting in practice, that type of thing, because I figure I have to run back anyways, but good to be back up front.
We saw the track change a lot from start to finish tonight. We saw the track rubber in, marbles everywhere. And I have not seen the marbles be a huge topic of discussion at other tracks this year and this season. But tonight it seemed like going up there was super treacherous. What was your experience like that with that tonight?
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely terrible. If you got out of the groove at all and got into the marbles, and I don't know, it's, you know, typically I feel like Dover, you're, you know, able to kind of move up as the run goes, but it seems like if you went anywhere off that bottom, you're going to go straight to the back. I know there was one run, I think I was running 6th or so, and I think I saw AJ maybe running P2, and somebody got underneath him and he just went straight back to 7th. Even I passed him there. So you definitely had to, you know, hold the bottom and protect the bottom. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, Dover's, it's tough like that. You got to stay focused, and any little slip up, it's gonna, you know, definitely, you know, make you pay for it. A lot of guys today too, so really tough getting on pit road. And I think that's part of the marbles issue. You got down to the apron, you get out to the outside wall and just, yeah, shot the car straight up. So it was definitely a challenge tonight.
Well, a top 5 result, a 3rd place finish for Jeff Wright. Jeff, good to talk to you again, and good luck next week.
Thanks, Kyle.
Moving on now to our 2nd place finisher, Bailey Turner in the number 24. Well, with all the chaos and cautions we saw there at the end, Bailey, I think you probably would have liked to have seen those last lap and a half run out. Your thoughts on the night after starting in 5th and finishing runner-up?
I definitely wasn't a top 3 car. I felt like I could have been top 5 all day. Just didn't know how to manage that right front as good as those guys ahead of me, and that definitely showed. And then just got that lucky break with the caution. I was battling right there with Jeff, just trying to get that top 5, and that caution came out, and I was so surprised that they didn't pit. I feel like it was the Chase Elliott situation from last Sunday for Adam. He was kind of in a lose-lose situation there. And, man, I just wish we could have kept it green. Definitely saw that win right in front of me for sure.
When you look back at this day, I mean, is this one of those races that got away from you, or do you not feel, because you mentioned that you don't feel like you were a top 3 car, but you're so close to winning. Had circumstances gone a little bit different, you would have won this race. So is this one that got away from you, or are you still pretty happy with where you ended up?
Not necessarily. I'm not disappointed in the finish. I mean, you definitely did wish those ones didn't slip away right in front of you. It's been a minute since last season or whatever it was when I got my last win. So it's disappointing, but in all, it was a good day. I was happy for Adam.
All right, Bailey Turner finishes in 2nd. Bailey, we'll see you in Chicago in 2 weeks. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Now, finally, last but certainly not least, Adam Cabot, the race winner, 1st win of the season for the 77. Simply the best pest control car. Adam, tonight, what a drive. A really, really solid night. You had to battle for it, though, especially at the end there. Nail those restarts. What was going through your mind with the green-white checkers, the option to pit or stay out, and then those restarts trying to hold off Bailey Turner and others behind you?
Man, I almost don't even know what to say. I talk about an emotional roller coaster. I am just drained right now. Yeah, I mean, like whenever you have a decent lead and you see the laps clicking down, you're just thinking, all right, just everyone keep it straight. Like, don't need a caution. When you hit 2 to go, you're just like, come on, let's just get to the line. And it never really usually happens, but you're just thinking, like, what if a caution comes out? And I'm coming down the front stretch, and I literally see the white flag and then watch it turn yellow. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's been a while since I've won, and I knew this would be my best shot this year. I just really clicked with this track. And at that point, I felt like I lost the race because you end up in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation where, if I pit, I know there's going to be at least one person, if not a handful, that are going to stay out. And if I stay out, I know that, people are going to pit, and fresh tires are just everything here and pretty much everywhere. And so I decided, I'm like, you know what? Like, at this point, they're just going to have to, pry the lead from me, pry it away from my cold, dead hands. I'm not going to just pull down pit road and give it up. And then only 2 people stayed out besides from me. And I'm like, that's it. It's over. 2 attempts. I'm like, even if they wreck on the first one, they're going to get by me. And then that first caution wasn't even an overtime. It wasn't even an attempt. It was a delayed green. So it didn't even count. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So somehow I just got lucky at the end with those cautions coming out. One more corner and Bailey would have just blown by me. But just a total range of emotions, because went from thinking I was getting my first win of the season to thinking I for sure lost it. And then somehow it all just kind of working out at the end.
Adam, it was a really impressive drive. I thought you'd find this tidbit interesting. Your first win of the season, you have the number 77 on the side of your car. You led, with the overtimes included, 77 laps tonight, which is very fitting because the other driver that led 77 laps tonight, Connor Horn, who ended up having issues earlier in the race. So funny that numbers worked out like that, but hey, congratulations.
No, I planned it out.
You planned it out exactly perfect. It makes it even better.
I could take the lead now, but let me just try to get this 77. I wonder who gets the most laps led then. How's that work? I should get the tiebreaker, right? I won the damn race.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic. I think it might be given to both of you.
Interesting.
I really don't see a way.
He has enough points.
I really don't see a way to break a tie like that. So I don't know.
Yep. Hey, Adam, congratulations. Amazing drive there for you at the end. Good job defensively driving. We'll see you in Chicago in 2 weeks. We'll see if you can get 2 for 2 here later in the season. Good luck to you. We'll see you later.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks. All right, Finney, let's kind of debrief after what was a really wild end to this race. Your thoughts as we head forward. We're going to have off next week because I'll be in at Gingerman Raceway for Grid Life turning next Sunday. But your thoughts as we head into Chicago in 2 weeks.
Yeah, really looking forward to the track. And these guys did a great job tonight, and just loving the way the race ended. I know a lot of drivers, I was going to say some drivers, but a lot of drivers are upset the way that went at the end. But I found that fantastic. That was really fun to watch. Just absolute chaos ensue here at the end of the race. I'm sure the admins are also not too terribly pleased, but a lot of fun to watch these guys just absolutely drive their hardest around a track like Dover.
That's going to do it for us tonight. You're going to see us next 3 p.m. tomorrow on the GT World YouTube channel for the GT Rivals Esports Invitational, the final round of the season from Kyle Lamy tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then I believe that I'm producing something on speed51.com tomorrow. I'll have information on that as well on our Discord channel, so make sure you follow that. And make sure you check out our new website, simtvbroadcasting.com. We'll see you on Monday night. I think we're running national cars at the Old Charlotte, so yellow walls out there. Good to see some good slipping and sliding around on the ovals on Monday night at 9:40. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow 3 p.m. for GT Rivals on the GT World YouTube channel. Have a good night.